everyone, it's Brenda Riches from RunForFit.com, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how one of the most fundamental uses of forefoot running is that it naturally increases cadence, also known as step rate or step frequency, and how the net effect of forefoot running may play a pivotal role in preventing foot injuries. Evidently, running with a higher step rate facilitated by forefoot running is a critical partner in preventing debilitating foot problems. Foot pain during running can be the result of many factors, but your number one priority when running is to not only adopt a forefoot strike landing pattern, but to preserve a proper forefoot strike landing pattern when you run long distances. And a forefoot strike landing pattern is associated with mechanical aspects that may protect the feet from overloading as compared with running with a heel strike landing pattern, in which heel strike running has gained almost universal acclaim for being a major source of running injuries. Much research has confirmed that forefoot running may reduce painful feet by decreasing loads on the plantar tissues or the soft tissues in the foot. Research published in the journal Orthopedic Biomechanics, which I will link below in the description box, the study suggests that in forefoot running, in-shoe plantar loading is less pronounced, whereby high in-shoe plantar pressure, like in heel strike running, is a determinant associated with bony injuries of the foot. Therefore, landing with a forefoot strike has the capacity to lift harmful loading patterns off of the foot. But one of the contributing factors as to how forefoot running mechanically prevents overloading on the foot is that forefoot running naturally increases cadence. A higher cadence, most often facilitated by a forefoot strike running style, is in alignment with lighter footsteps and is of paramount importance for protecting the feet. Lighter footsteps during running is directly involved in less impact flowing through the foot. And when there's less impact forces streaming through the foot, your chances of foot injury greatly diminishes. Therefore, running with a higher cadence via a forefoot strike landing pattern is a safer entity that will reduce weight-bearing forces and enhances comfort on the foot, and is a good replacement for cushion running shoes, because running with a higher cadence with a forefoot strike landing pattern creates the same protective effects as cushion running shoes, which is why barefoot runners can run long distances graciously without injury, as barefoot running naturally involves a higher step rate and a forefoot strike landing pattern, which are the central mechanisms that reduce sources of impact. So this is why there's no real additional impact forces when you run barefoot. Many experts view a higher step rate during running as a sufficient starting point to avoid running injuries like foot injuries. For instance, in the same study, the researchers found that increasing cadence by 5% from the runner's preferred cadence rate reduced total foot contact time, which means the foot spent less time on the ground and more time in the air, reduced peak force and pressure on the foot, and a higher cadence also cut out high heel forces and medial metatarsal force, which means forces in the middle top of the portion of the foot. Medial metatarsal force and pressure time integral, which is the speed of which the pressure acts on the foot, was lower when a higher step rate was implemented during running. Therefore, the evidence really illustrates just how important a higher step rate is during running and provides key insights into how a runner can avoid foot discomfort and even foot bone injuries just by taking lighter, quicker steps. Not to mention, it makes immense sense that lighter foot-ground interactions during running would lead the way for less foot pressure and impact on the foot. Of course, be sure to always remember that forefoot running naturally drives a higher step rate than heel strike running, but it's always important to make the concentrated effort in practice to take quicker, shorter steps instead of heaping in large, giant strides when you run. Thus, lighter footsteps during running offers an excellent form of pressure relief on the foot by depressing abnormal spikes in peak plantar pressures, minimizing the rate of peak force pressure, penetration on the foot, which makes a higher cadence during running A powerful aid and practical assistance in foot injury prevention, it has also been made clear in the scientific literature that barefoot running brings more immediate changes in developing a higher cadence, because when you run barefoot, you are always consciously and reflexively making your best efforts to minimize impact on your feet, giving you a more credible chance of upping your cadence or step frequency to the best of your ability at all times. So running barefoot is a vital basis for evoking a lighter footstep, and you certainly stand to benefit from that, since a lot of the mechanical difficulties runners face are certainly embedded in their footwear, as the brain is foggy at interpreting sensory input at the feet when you wear thickly cushioned running shoes. But barefoot running is the best way for the brain to work with incoming sensory signals at the foot. Sensory feedback at the foot is really the fundamental force that holds your mechanics together when you run, because it nudges you to learn how to run lighter naturally and helps you build the sustainable sets of protection at the mechanical and at the reflexive level that is so necessary to run long distances without an increased risk of sudden loading or high impact erratic footsteps that we so often see in runners who wear traditional running shoes. So again, to bolster your efforts, to bolster your step rates, running barefoot will certainly play a leading role in prompting you to take lighter footsteps, for the reason that when you first go barefoot, the nerves in the feet are more sensitive to the ground, and that is a key element in accelerating your step frequency, and you will go through a natural shift period where you will learn to pick up your feet more rapidly and land more softly with each step to find that right source of comfort and a higher cadence as a result of that. For more information on the benefits of forefoot running versus heel strike running, please visit my blog, runforfoot.com, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay updated on the latest research and perspectives on barefoot running and the biomechanics of running. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have fun out there on the roads. Bye for now.